News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
It feels a lot more like Seattle. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Montana Morning. It is Tuesday, May 24th, 2016. Rain continues to fall in western Montana right now, and pretty much going to rain all the way through the Memorial Day weekend. Sorry about that. Right now we do have rain and 43 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville with the best of western Montana living. Our top story this morning, rain. Heavy weekend rains have caused localized flooding up in northwestern Montana and road closures near Columbia Falls, Hungry Horse, and in Glacier Park. Glacier spokesman Tim Raines said, great name, by the way. Tim Raines said a culvert 2 miles from Apgar along Lake McDonald overflowed yesterday, sending water across Going to the Sun Road, prompting its closure. The National Weather Service says almost 5 inches of rain fell at Hungry Horse Dam Friday through Sunday. Another almost 4 inches fell at West Glacier. Up to 3 feet of snow fell in the mountains above 6,300 feet in Glacier Park. The Weather Service issued a flood warning yesterday for urban areas and small streams in Flathead County. Even though there's been significant flooding and road closures up in Glacier Park, the Missoula area has seen no flooding as of yet. Lead forecaster Bob Nestor with the National Weather Service office says that has the total so far for the Missoula area.
The Missoula Airport, 3,900 7-inch of rain. 4 miles northwest of Missoula, 6,700 7-inch. In the upper rattlesnake, anywhere between a half an inch and 1 inch of precipitation. St. Ignatius, just to our north, has had 1 inch.
Nestor said several factors have kept the Missoula waters from rising over their banks.
We've had a pretty good snow melt this spring. It was kind of warm in April and May, and so there hasn't been a lot of precipitation in the mountains. So with this rainfall, the main stem rivers were already fairly low. So the rain we've had has increased the flows, but not anywhere towards the flood stage whatsoever.
Nestor said the rain has been steady and hasn't overwhelmed city culverts, causing what is called ponding around sewer grates in Missoula. And Bob Nestor just told me a few moments ago, for accurate rain amounts, just go to the National Weather Service Facebook page. They have them right there. Republican Greg Gianforte has loaned his gubernatorial campaign $150,000 during the latest campaign finance reporting period. The Bozeman businessman also reports receiving more than $100,000 in donations. The loans add up to $272,000 Gianforte has given to his own campaign. Statewide office seekers must file campaign finance reports as of yesterday. The filing deadline is the first following last week's ruling by a federal judge in validating contribution limits set by voters in 1994, opening the way for unlimited campaign contributions by political parties and substantially higher limits for political action committees. Gianforte has $375,000 left to spend in his attempt to derail Governor Steve Bullock. Bullock has not filed his report with the Commissioner of Political Practices by early yesterday. Hamilton police were called to the scene of yet another vehicle crashing into a building yesterday morning. Hamilton Police Chief Ryan Oster has more.
Just shortly before 8:30 this morning, officers were dispatched to the Subway store here in Hamilton. There was a full-size pickup that had been traveling northbound on Highway 93. The driver began choking on something that he was eating. He went to pull off into the parking lot of the Subway, had some further medical issues, and ended up striking the building.
A similar event occurred in late March when Hamilton police responded to a vehicle that crashed into the kitchen of the Ravalli County Council on Aging. This time, though, no one was hurt.
There were some employees in the building. Nobody was injured, thankfully. The vehicle, the entire cab portion basically was inside the building. There was significant damage.
Oster said an investigation still underway, but it's possible the 56-year-old driver may have blacked out during the choking event. An environmental group has sued federal officials over the potential transfer of the National Bison Range to American Indian tribes in Montana. The lawsuit was filed yesterday by attorneys for public employees for environmental responsibility in U.S. District Court in Washington. It says federal officials failed to conduct an environmental review before deciding to support the transfer of the Bison Range near Moise to the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes. Former Bison Range employees also were named as plaintiffs in the case against the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Federal officials and tribal leaders are holding what they describe as an emergency meeting to protest plans by a French auction house to sell artifacts that the tribes consider sacred. The auctions have been a sticking point between the U.S. and French officials for several years. The planned May 30th auction is particularly galling, officials say, because one of the items up for sale is a shirt made of human scalps. A group called Friends for a Quiet Glacier Coalition is busy gathering signatures, trying to urge Interior Secretary Sally Jewell to bring natural sounds back to Glacier Park. According to Quiet Glacier spokeswoman Mary McClellan, the sonic beauty of Glacier is being damaged by sounds like this. McClellan says motorcycles and helicopters are the main culprits.
Now, the park is actively working with National Park Service Natural Sounds Division on the motorcycles and figuring out a solution for that. They've done, in 2014, they did a sound study that directly addressed that. So they are working on that, and we are working on the helicopter issue.
McClellan said there should be exceptions for firefighters, of course, researchers and park officials, but that private helicopter tours should come to an end for everyone, even those with disabilities.
Glacier National Park is one of the very few parks where you can drive through the center of it and have an exceptional view into the backcountry. If you can get into a car or a bus, you have access to some of the most beautiful scenes that Glacier has to offer. You know, anybody who can't get into a boat, a bus, or a car isn't going to be able to get into a helicopter.
Over the weekend, the online petition passed the 500-signature mark. McClellan says less than 1% of the more than 2 million people that visit Glacier every year do so via helicopter, but noise pollution damages the park for everyone. As of Friday, the Missoula County Clerk of District Court's office sent out 10,000 notice to jury mailers. For the first time, the questionnaire as to qualifications for jury service is now being collected online. Clerk of District Court Shirley Faust has more.
This year, for the first time, instead of sending out the entire jury packet with a questionnaire and a notice of jury service, opted to send out instead a postcard that provides a website where jurors can log on and fill out a fillable PDF of the jury questionnaire and actually email it to our office.
Faust says the move is a shift that will eliminate postage costs for the potential juror and the county. She said ignoring the notice is actually against the law.
By statute, the clerk of court has to certify to the sheriff all those jurors who do not respond to the annual notice, and then the sheriff has a duty to serve those folks and try to get them to respond to the notice.
For questions, contact the clerk of court's office at 258-4780. You could bypass the automated message simply by pressing 0. And a 16-year-old boy was killed and 2 other people injured in a single-vehicle rollover crash near Busby. The Highway Patrol said a 19-year-old Busby man was driving a pickup northbound on a dirt road just before 4 o'clock Saturday morning when the pickup's right tires left the road. The driver corrected to the left, causing the pickup to rotate counterclockwise. The pickup went off the road and overturned. The victim was pinned in the back seat of the vehicle and died at the scene. His name has not yet been released. Our News Talk time now, 6:13.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
The soggy conditions continue today with areas of light rain and even isolated thunderstorms. Daytime highs will top out in the low 60s. We'll see our high temperatures this week warming into the mid to upper 60s, but showers stay stuck in the forecast. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.